All right, we're back on Darin's truck. If you're seeing a new age shiny Mustang, that's because, well, Jesse's here and he's here to help. So never mind all that. That's for a good reason. We've got good help today. So we're, we've been kind of picking away here at Darin's truck, and we've got some work done to it. The hood actually opens and closes now nicely, as do the doors. So it's had a new exhaust manifolds put on it, new heater core, as that was leaking, as you guys saw in the last video. Just kind of tuned. Oh, the alternator, paint job, as you guys can see. We're putting lipstick on this old pig, but it looks good. And yeah, motor runs good, so I think this is going to be good to go for him now. I've got a manifold that's trying to blow a hole in the side of itself, and yeah, this will be good. Now, though, we did kind of course, the more we dug, the more we found. The fuel pump was starting to be kind of weak. It wasn't wanting to stay running, so I ended up putting a fuel pump on it, and I went and traced back and found out that the tank is bad, a lot worse than I thought. At first, when we got the truck running, it was clean gas coming out of there, and the fuel filter was nice and clear and everything, but as the more the truck was ran around and driven a little bit here, it started to wash the wall of that dirty lining outside the tank, so the fuel is just red, it's gross, it's nasty. And so long story short, new tank's on its way. So we're kind of at a standstill, but now we get to do something fun to the truck, and that is this, the engineered vintage behind bumper winch mount. And so Darin saw another truck here in the shop that had one of these on it. It's like, I have to have one of those. That is just too cool, and I didn't have to talk him into it. And yeah, this is going to be a good addition to this truck. He's got property up the hill, lots of trees and areas he's cleaning up and clearing out. So it'd be nice for him to have a nice solid recovery points, and of course the ability to mount a winch on the front of his truck. So we're going to get started on this. We're going to tear the original bumper off. It seems the bumper bolts are already kind of putting up a fight, so we've got the secret sauce, or whatever you want to call it here, the liquid torch. So we're gonna get this bumper busted off, and I'll show you guys just how cool this kit is, because this is this is just the best kit in the market. This bolts right up to the factory holes in the frame and works on everything, and it's just really cool. So engineered vintage behind bumper winch mount installed. Oh, and a public service announcement: if you do see these at your local grocery store or gas station, buy them, because these are the best licorice ever. Yeah, there you hear it from us both. Best licorice ever. And this pack's me lucky to make it through the hour, I'd say. The doors open and closing way better than they were before. This thing is just an old beater, but still nice to have the the functions and the little actions operate as they should and not put up a fight. So got this window coming up and down nicely. A little noisy, but that's an old truck for you, I guess, if we're not buying all new parts and using the old stuff still. So that one over there needs a window regulator. This one here goes up and down just all right. Jesse's making liquid of those front bumper bolts. Well, that was easy, huh? Just like that, the bumper disappeared. Just torched the whole thing. It's all molten lava. We've got a chrome front that we're likely gonna clean up and get spruced up to put on this by the time we're putting one back on, because this little girl needs a little bit of a facelift, and an old white bumper as well. It's seen its better days, and it actually was rubbing on the grill a little bit in one spot. So I think we're gonna give her a little bit of an upgrade, But cool. All right, thought I'd show you guys on this little blazer I got over here in the side bay, a little bit better of a visual of Ben's kit here, and just how, well, handy it is. So the shackle brackets, they go right to the factory drilled holes that are in a 1972 frame. So now I say this because this hole is in all of them. These holes are for factory tow hooks. And any 72 factory four-wheel drive is pre-drilled for these. 71 and back will have the holes if the truck was opted for tow hooks. So Darin's truck we're working on is gonna have these holes as well, because it was a tow hook truck factory. It's a nice kit because it is essentially a bolt-on that goes to factory holes. So Might have to drill these two, but they're super easy to do with the kit and using it as a template, especially with the inside bracket, which I'll show you guys now. This is the other beauty behind the kit. So these are the side plates, and these are on the inside of the frame rail and go and sandwich up the frame rail itself to, as you can see, I have it in the low position there, to the shackle brackets. So those go to the same holes. As you can see, sandwiched up the frame rail, inside support, outside support, and of course the winch plate itself runs across side to side, bolts in through there and bolts in through the side bracket that would be, of course, mirrored over on that side. So now here's where things get cool. So you can see it's the combing for all the factory rivets, and it goes and ties into this rear hole back here, which is of course for the side bumper brackets around to the outside of the edge of the bumper out there. So again, ties into another factory bolt hole there, factory bolt hole here, factory bolt here, factory bolt there. Now, and excuse me, almost forgot one, another hole, which isn't essentially a bolt hole it's typically used, but this little oval slot that's right here by the spring hammer holes. Ties into there too. All sorts of support. It really ties up the front of these trucks, makes them nice and stout, and of course gives you the provision to mount a winch behind the bumper. So the winches are designed with this kit to be mounted upside down. So this would be hanging. This would be hanging beneath the bumper. The way this is set up, plates are flippable. So this will go over to this side, over here, and go on this side. Never mind that. These won't stay because of the way they need to be bolted, hang upside down. Check it out. It's flipped, and right there goes to the factory holes yet once again on the other side over here. And this is so the winch plate, it will be essentially starting up and level with the top of the frame rails. Instead of being, hanging down below here, the winch will be directly behind the bumper. So it's flippable. There's two different positions. You can mount it down low, like that, and have the winch plate be down here. Or you can flip it both sides and have it be up high, and essentially the plate up here. That's what we're gonna do on Darin's truck because he plans on putting a winch on it. So we're gonna mount these in the up high position and get these in both sides, shackle brackets out there on the outside of the frame, and get that winch plate across and in place. All right, so we're back here at Darin's truck. As you can see, we've got the side brackets held up in position, in place. This is again the up high, the high mount position for the winch to be directly behind the front bumper. If me and Jesse were to again flip sides, trade you, and then it goes forward like such. That would be if we wanted to mount the winch down below the front bumper. And so it's kind of cool. Flippable kit. Again, goes to all the factory holes. Trade these one more time. Okay, we're gonna get these bolted in place and get the shackles bolted on with them. And yeah, get that winch plate in place. All right, so we got the shackle brackets themselves on and the inner brackets for the winch plate, as you guys can see. And again, that's the factory side bumper bracket hole, which ties into the frame. So got these all in place, both sides. It's time to put the winch plate in. All right, the winch plate's in. So this is where the fair lead, essentially you could mount it here if it was in a down low position, and it would come right out of there. But since we have it in the high position, this obviously is gonna be passing through the bumper. So we're gonna cut a hole, in the bumper for the fair lead to be mounted out there. You can run two fair leads. You can run one here and one on the bumper too, if the guy wants to. But yeah, so it's in place. Darin is shopping for a winch. He's bouncing back and forth a couple models and whatnot, so we'll have one to put on it here shortly. But for now, we got one more little thing to stick on, the icing on the cake, and that is our shackles. All right, shackles are in place. Get up here and get a little bit better look at all the recovery point greatness going on here. Cool. Obviously, it's not really the complete look. We don't got a bumper or winch on it quite yet, but you guys can see. Truck now has a super stout recovery point, which is something these trucks were missing, unless, of course, they were opting for factory tow hooks. But this really is even stouter, especially with all this, winch plate sides and main plate bracing everything up here. It's stout. And Ben's kits are great too, because it comes with all the hardware, grade 8 bolts. We had a really easy time putting this on. It was, effortless, really. All right, Darin just went and got a Badlands Apex for 71 K20. This is gonna be pretty sweet. So he was between the ZXR and this one, and he sprung for the Apex with the synthetic rope. So he just came and dropped it off. Well, we're just gonna put it on the truck. It's ready. So we're gonna get this thing unboxed and yeah, get it fit up there underneath the truck. All right, we got the winch unboxed here, the Badlands Apex. It's got the synthetic rope, came with the fair lead, wireless controller. No, this is sweet. We might end up, by the end of it, relocating the box underneath the hood of the truck, depending on how low it hangs down. Ben's winch plates are designed, the winch is mounted upside down to access your controls and the plug-in of the winch and whatnot. So we'll see once we get this up in place and kind of check things out and see how it fits and whatnot. But yeah, this is cool. We're gonna get it up underneath the truck. All right, there it is. Winch is under the truck. It was a bit of a wrestle to get it up in there. They're nice and heavy, but yeah, this is cool. So Darin actually, the guy at Harbor Freight said, oh, you got to get a fair lead too. We already came one with the kit, but I said, yeah, that's okay. We'll use both of them. I put one on the actual winch plate itself as a first one, and extra kind of support and guidance there. And then of course the main one out here on the front bumper you guys are going to see. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to run double fair leads, but we had to, so we said, why not? So I got this one here centered on the front bumper, and I got it in line, held the bumper up there, and got it in line as close to, being basically, right in line with the winch that's behind it. So the cable or rope, as in this case, is coming out straight through the bumper and not coming out, down or up. And so this is kind of the best spot I could do it. We're still gonna keep access to the license plate mount holes, and Ben sells a flip kit for those. We're gonna run on this truck to where it has a little bracket that brings license plate out and it flips and covers the fair lead when not in use, flips up, and for when you're using the winch. It's kind of cool. So, okay, I got this basically centered on the bumper and marked where I want to put it, and I've got my opening marked. I'm gonna be cutting this area out, and a little bit more actually even too. So I'm gonna go about, well, about a ½ inch more. I'm gonna cut it kind of out here all the way around, so that the opening will actually be quite a bit bigger than the fair lead. That just makes sure there's no chance of the rope ever rubbing on a little, edge of this bumper that's kind of still in the fair lead's opening area. So this will be larger than the opening, just for safe measure. And yeah, this will look pretty cool. So I'm gonna get this cut out, and well, we'll get this bumper mounted up on the truck. Got the hole cut in the bumper, made it look as good as possible. Little cut off wheel, little die grinder action. And again, we've got plenty of clearance to our fair lead. It's not bigger than the opening. As you see, there's no chance of the rope rubbing on the edge of the bumper. So cool. Okay, I'm gonna get this fair lead bolted up, and we'll get this bumper on the truck. All right, check that out. It's quite the facelift. That looks sweet. Chrome bumper was the ticket. Chrome bumper paired with the chrome big hubs, the chrome shiny mirrors, new stainless windshield wipers. Looks good. Had some bling to this little girl and she needed it. It looks sweet. The old white front bumper that was on it was just a little bit too beat up and whatnot, and this is got a little bit of a bend actually itself. It's kind of got a, I think it got kind of hit ever so gently on this side and kind of bent right there. Might try to straighten out a little bit, but it's light years better than that old white bent up, well, basically just wrecked, crashed, beat up bumper that was on it. Nothing wrong with the white bumper. They look great in these trucks too when they're nice and straight, and fit into the body. But the best bumper is a straight bumper. Let's put it that way. There we go. Looks good. Looks sweet. So you guys can see the shackle brackets, the shackles themselves hanging below the front bumper for easy access, to use for recovery or whatever else you need to use them for. And there's the winch hiding behind that front bumper. You can see the wiring, the box here, that's kind of hanging down below. Again, I said earlier, we might relocate that underneath the hood. By the time we wire this up here, I still got to wire it up and whatnot. And it came with a relocation kit up here. So I'm thinking of relocating this underneath the hood. So this will not be here. It'll be just the winch hiding back there. Easy access to your switch. Pretty sweet. And again, we put 2 fair leads on, like I explained earlier. He bought a second one, and shoot, why not? It looks good. It's gonna work good. These winches are great. I mean, Harbor Freight, there's a lot of good there at Harbor Freight. It's a lot of junk at Harbor Freight. These are one of the things that are good, and you can't beat them for the price. And for 500 bucks, he's got a badass winch, badass 12,000 pound winch on the front of his truck that will serve it well, and he can use on his property to, well, for whatever he needs to use it for. Excited for Darin to see it. He stopped by, dropped off the winch real quick, and took off to work for the day. And well, when he gets off work here, you can check out his new truck. Looks like a new truck with that chrome bumper on there. Some more of that front shot. It looks just that good. Sweet. Can't beat the egg crate grill on a 71, 72. This is the best looking pickup, well, not Chevrolet, anybody's ever made. Thinking these two might have known each other in a previous life. They both were local trucks to the area, sold new here in the area. I think one was sold to Tenasket. This bronze one was Brewster or Omac, I believe. But these two trucks might have crossed paths. Who knows? Both were farm trucks, you know what I mean? These guys here might have went and bought some hay from these guys over here. And who knows, maybe, 45, 50 years ago, these two trucks crossed paths. Oh, yeah, yours 71. Oh, yeah, mine's a 71 as well. Oh, yours just a half ton. Yeah, I got 3/4 ton. Oh, I wish I would have gotten automatic. Well, I got 3 on the tree, I'm sure these farmers maybe had a conversation, something along the lines of that. Maybe I'm just making shit up, and none of it's true, but it could be true. It surely could be true. Eastern Washington farm trucks, they might have crossed paths. Who knows? Well, they're both here now. They're both getting put back on the road, so. Got the little second round of work done here on Darin's K20, including the install of that engineered vintage behind bumper winch mount. As you can see there, we did end up relocating the control box underneath the hood for more clearance and a little bit sleeker look. And pretty happy with how that turned out, actually. This knockoff Evo Badlands Apex is pretty sweet. And yep, there it is. The synthetic rope is cool. Darin's really happy with it. It'll be fun to use and, well, just play with. It's like a toy right in the front of your truck, and it's just cool. It's cool to have a winch. You can do all sorts of stuff with them, and you don't really realize what you really can do with them until you have them on the front of your truck. All sorts of handy. So I love Ben's kit. It keeps it, well, out of the way until you need it, and you're not tripping on it or walking around it or having to work up and over it to work on the, the truck, with it being on a winch bumper setup, which, are good too. But this behind bumper winch mount is really the cleanest, best way to do these. Sleek look, and, still shows up and shows face a little bit and shows you, well, tells everybody else you mean business. And you got a big bad winch on the front of your old truck. So cool. I just love this kit. And of course, paired with the engineered vintage shackle brackets, we've now got a solid recovery point to use when pulling this truck or pulling other things out when you're not using the winch and just using a strap or whatever it be. Just nice, peace of mind, it's safe, and it's good for your truck to have the proper, recovery points. You're not tearing up the truck, pulling on the wrong spot or any of that jazz. That's where we ended up putting the control box. It's kind of hidden itself and out of the way. Easy access to the side if you guy wants to use the controller as a wired version. Yeah, I'd say the total install time was around, with the winch plate itself, shackles and all that jazz, modifying the bumper for the fair lead, wiring the winch, I'd say it was around 4 hours. Not too bad. It's a really easy install. Plus your truck already has the factory drilled holes. If you gotta drill the holes, it might take you a little bit longer. That's no biggie. But yeah, just kind of a top view. You can see it hanging out down there. New battery. We got the winch on the side post down below, the truck on the top post up above. Got a little battery shut off switch so we can shut the winch off when it's not in use. No, it's cool. Super cool. Truck's running really good. I like the tune-up. It's running even better than it was before. So yeah, he's pretty well ready to put this old girl back to work. Just a few little things we're waiting on. New gas tank was the biggest one of this last round of work that it really needed, so that was good for the truck. Got the doors opening and closing a lot better than they were before. Got the windows rolling up and down. Got a little saddle blanket seat cover on the seat. Just waiting on some pedal pads for the pedals down there. Give them some grip and traction. We're toying with the idea of a possible radio, and got to wire up that cigarette lighter. I didn't have a proper one in this truck, and so I found him one. Just got to wire that in. Pedal pads, And a few other little tiddly things, cross some T's, dotting the I's. Check that out. That's the first Cybertruck I've seen. Huh, interesting. I barely caught a glimpse of it there. They are, well, they are something else. Definitely can't help but look at it. But it doesn't look this good. Wonder if in 50 years time, guys will be putting lift kits and flatbeds and winch bumpers on a Tesla Cybertruck. I doubt it. I think we'll still be playing with 1972 Chevys when they're 100 years old. Well, that's what I'm gonna be doing anyways. I'll be 75 and still doing this, guys. Mark my words. I don't know any better. It's fun coaxing a little bit of life back into these old trucks. Even if the guy's not restoring it to the nines and doing every last thing to them, it's fun to do them like this. This is realistic. This is blue collar. This is a work truck, man. It's a weathered, worn, battered, tattered, but it's still tough, strong, runs good, and it's ready to go. This is a work truck, and this thing can do a lot. Whatever you want to put this thing through, it will do it. An old 4-speed 71, 72 K20. That is the best truck that Chevy ever made. Tough as nails. You just can't beat that drivetrain. That small block Chevy, the 4-speed 205, disc brake front, big eating out back. Cannot beat it. This is the best truck Chevy ever made. I'm happy for Darin to put this thing to work and to enjoy it, start driving around and whatnot. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have this one back on the road. He's gonna go use it this summer up on his property and start clearing some trees out, moving some stuff around, cutting up some wood and whatnot. And plans are this next spring to come back, revisit the truck. Still wants to go through with doing a 2-inch lift kit on it. Do a little bit bigger tires, give a little more attitude and altitude. The usuals, just what they all need. Yeah, no, it was fun taking it this far. It'll be fun to work on it some more. For now, I'm excited for him to have the truck and put it back to use and put it back to work. All right, guys, thanks for watching. More 67 to 72 content soon.